There are moments in cinema history when a single outfit becomes more famous than the actor wearing it. When a costume transcends the screen and becomes part of our collective cultural memory. Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. That little black dress from Breakfast at Tiffany's. The white pleated gown from The 7-Year Itch. These aren't just costumes. They're not props. They're not simply clothing. They're cultural artifacts. They're historical documents. They're the defining moments when fashion and film became absolutely inseparable. They're the moments when a costume designer's vision changed how the entire world dressed themselves. Today on FRAMEFIT, we're counting down the 10 most iconic movie outfits in cinema history. The looks that didn't just define individual films, they transcended cinema. They became legendary. They became symbols of entire eras. They became part of our collective memory of what beauty and elegance means. Welcome back to FRAMEFIT, where cinema meets style. Before we get into this countdown, I want to ask you something. Do you have a favorite movie costume? A look that made you want to dress differently? A costume that made you absolutely believe in a character? If you appreciate the artistry of costume design, if you understand that fashion in cinema is more than just looking beautiful, then I'm asking you to subscribe. We upload new costume rankings every single week. Let's get into this countdown. Number 10. Marty McFly's 1985 sneakers from Back to the Future. Here's something absolutely fascinating about this costume. It's not elaborate. It's not designed by a famous fashion house. It's not made from expensive luxury materials. Marty McFly is wearing sneakers. Nike sneakers specifically. He's wearing jeans, he's wearing a jacket. He's wearing clothes that any teenager in 1985 could actually afford to buy at the local shopping mall. But the brilliance of costume designer Debbie McGuire's work is that she understood something fundamental about fashion. She understood that authenticity is more fashionable than perfection, that reality is more influential than fantasy. When that film came out in 1985, teenagers across America looked at Marty McFly and thought, "I want those shoes. I want that jacket. I want to dress like him." The costume didn't make audiences want to escape into a fantasy world. It made audiences want to become something achievable, something real, something possible. And that's more powerful than any elaborate ball gown ever made. Number 9. Princess Leia's white gown from Star Wars. When costume designer John Monroe created Princess Leia's iconic white dress for Star Wars in 1977, he had no idea he was creating one of the most recognizable costumes in the entire history of cinema. That dress is extraordinary, but not for the reasons you might think. It's not elaborate. It's not covered in embroidery or beading or decorative details. It's not made from precious materials. It's a white gown. A simple, geometrically clean white gown. But Monroe understood something absolutely crucial about costume design. He understood that a costume doesn't need to be complicated to be iconic. Sometimes the most powerful design is the most austere. Sometimes the most influential costume is the one with the fewest details. That white gown proved that elegance could be pure, could be simple, could be absolutely unforgettable. Number 8. The Joker's purple suit from The Dark Knight. This costume is the complete inverse of Princess Leia's. Where her dress was pure white and geometrically simple, the Joker's suit is absolute chaos. It's layered, it's detailed, it's deliberately disheveled. Costume designer Lindy Hemming created something that doesn't just dress a character. It reveals character psychology. The purple suit, the torn shirt beneath. The deliberate chaos of the styling tells you everything you need to know about who this character is before he says a single word. The costume functions as character development. Every detail serves the narrative. Every stitch has meaning. Every color choice communicates something about his mind. This is costume design at its highest level. Not just making someone look good, making them look psychologically accurate. Number 7. Jack Sparrow's full ensemble. Pirates of the Caribbean. Captain Jack Sparrow wore a costume so detailed, so specific, so utterly distinctive that the costume alone tells you exactly who the character is. The braids in the hair, the leather jacket, the compass, the rings, the trinkets, the beads, the stumbling walk that the costume itself influenced. Costume designer Penny Rose created someone who walks on screen and you know exactly who he is before he says a word. The costume is the character. The character and the costume are inseparable. This might be the highest achievement in film costume design. When the outfit and the person become so unified that you cannot distinguish between the costume and the character. Number 6. Neo's long black coat from The Matrix. Science fiction has always struggled with costume design. How do you make something feel futuristic without looking ridiculous? How do you create clothes that feel like they're from the future without looking like a Halloween costume? The Matrix found the answer in absolute simplicity. Neo's long black coat, his dark sunglasses, his leather pants, his black shirt. These aren't futuristic costumes. They're contemporary clothes, modern clothes, current clothes. But costume designer Kim Barrett styled them in a way that felt eternal, that felt like it could exist in any time period, that felt like it transcended fashion and became pure style. The costume proved that the future isn't about adding complexity. It's about understanding the essential elements of style and refining them to their purest form. Number 5. Audrey Hepburn's gown from Sabrina. When people talk about elegant costume design, truly elegant, not just decorated, but genuinely refined, they're talking about Givenchy's work with Audrey Hepburn. In Sabrina, Audrey wore gowns that didn't just dress her body. They transformed her into someone she always was underneath. Each gown was a moment of revelation. The costumes didn't hide anything. They revealed everything about who she really is. This is what great costume design does. It doesn't conceal. It reveals. It shows the truth of the character's soul. Number 4. Marilyn Monroe's gold dress from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. This gown is pure power. Costume designer William Travilla created something that doesn't just make Marilyn beautiful, it makes her magnetic. It makes her impossible to look away from. The gold lame fabric catches the light. The dress moves with sensuality. Every curve is celebrated rather than concealed. This costume proved something fundamental about cinema and fashion. When sexuality is designed with respect and artistry, when femininity is celebrated rather than exploited, it becomes mythology. It becomes eternal. Number 3. The white pleated dress from The 7-Year Itch. There's one image, one moment, one costume that defined an entire era. Marilyn Monroe standing over a subway grate. Her white pleated gown billowing up around her. This costume became the visual definition of 1950s glamour. This became the moment when cinema captured something eternal about femininity and power and beauty. That single image, that single costume, has been referenced and recreated more times than any other costume in cinema history. Number 2. Audrey Hepburn's black dress from Breakfast at Tiffany's. In 1961, this dress changed fashion forever. It wasn't elaborate. It wasn't ornate. It wasn't covered in beading or embroidery or decorative details. It was a simple black gown with a pearl necklace. But costume designer Givenchy understood something absolutely crucial. He understood that true elegance is about subtraction, not addition. That the most powerful costume is the one that seems effortless. That the most revolutionary design is the one that looks simple. This dress made understated luxury fashionable. It proved that you don't need complexity to be iconic. That sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is choose simplicity. And number 1, Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. These shoes are the most iconic costume piece in cinema history. They're not the most elaborate. They're not the most expensive. But they're the most recognizable. They're the most symbolic. They're the costume piece that transcends cinema and becomes mythology. The ruby slippers represent something deeper than fashion. They represent the journey home. They represent transformation. They represent the power of desire and will and determination to change your life. This is what the greatest costumes do. They don't just dress characters, they become symbols of something universal, something timeless, something that speaks to the human condition. If you love this countdown, if you appreciate the craftsmanship and the artistry behind cinema fashion, then subscribe and hit like. We have new videos, We have videos every single week. This has been FRAMEFIT. Thanks for watching.